Alright, welcome back. First of all, not financial advice. Consult your licensed financial advisor. I am not a licensed financial advisor. I hold no licenses, titles, or whatever. Have your stops in place, emotions out. Do not invest anything you're not willing to lose or lose sleep over. And let's talk about the markets. Let's talk about all sorts of stuff. And, yeah. Alright, well, it's September 29th. It's a big day today. Starts later tonight. The debates. You should watch it. I'm gonna watch it. Mainly for entertainment. But you never know. I mean, sometimes something important is said. What else? I'll cover the news first, or whatever I find interesting. Listen, you guys need patience. And this is great right now. I mean, we're still in a correction that I've been anticipating for a long time now, right? And people just don't have patience, all right? So but listen, I mean, this is great because it's giving me time to keep researching. And that dip buying opportunity is going to be sweet for the mining stocks, for silver, gold. And after that, I mean, you could probably just sit back and relax. Later in the bull run, news events will start mattering, basically. I mean, some still do, but it's mainly based off of mergers. Right now, I'm not trading much. I'm just being patient. I still have, still holding inverse ETFs that are short the market, and some volatility ETFs, right? For swing trades. And swing trades last from days to weeks to possibly even months if it just keeps working out for you, or you just need a little more time for the trade to work out in your advantage. That's why you don't mess with options or leverage ETFs if you don't have the wherewithal, the capital, the patience, and the experience, right? And even if you do, sometimes you just don't get it right. And that's just a part of it, which I experience all the time. That's why I never place huge trades or bets any given time. So sometimes I do, and it works out in my favor. Sometimes it doesn't, and that's just that's what investing is. There's no such thing as every trade is a profitable one. Matter of fact, I've said this in the past. Let's say you put on 10 trades. You could get 7 of them wrong and lose all your money on 7 trades. But those 3 trades that you do get right and you let them run long enough, you still walk away with a decent profit or a massive profit. It all depends on position sizing and whatnot. And if you did cut loose, you took your losses early, not late, cutting your losses short tends to really sway your odds in being a profitable trader. But most of you guys aren't even traders. All you really have to do is catch these major swings. So, you know what? I'm going to talk about that right now real quick. And then I'll go into the news because I'll forget. I didn't take notes or anything. So, you know what? Let's do this. Here's gold futures chart, a monthly chart of gold futures. Straight up. This one only goes back to April of 2015, right? So let's take this to a weekly so it looks better. Now, I mean, this chart looks good for me personally. Oh no, this is wrong. Hold on. Why? TradingView changed it around. I need gold futures in dollars, not pesos. All right, here we go. This one actually goes back. Something's wrong here. That is weird. Oh, here's GC. Okay, here we go. Gold futures, GC. And I look at futures. I don't look at the spot price because paper manipulation is all in futures. All right. I took profits in 2012 on mining stocks around here on this huge drop. I remember that. I got out just in case. And that was a great decision. I started getting back in 2015, the end of 2015. I literally bought the bottom. All right. So I started loading up on mining stocks around here. I rode this bull market. So this is the price of gold. I'm not looking at mining ETFs or anything. And I rode this bull market up, right? And then I took profits again in like beginning of 2017. Then I got sidetracked with Bitcoin and the rest of them, right, for a few years. But at the same time, I was still paying attention to the metals market. And here and there, I would add to my position, but I wasn't really talking about it. Around here, in 2018, when we tested like 1366 or whatever, I was like, all right, guys, we need to get into the mining sector. If you guys remember that. And then I rushed my website, MMGinvest, and the research on this dip. And I was like, you need to buy right now. And then, boom, right? Now, keep in mind, this entire bull market in gold in the past 2 years, basically, and this is just the beginning, 2 years, the mining stocks didn't go up as much as they did back here in 2016, believe it or not. Now, I know this because I was there, right? So this little rise in gold from the end of 2015 from $1,000 to $1,366 or $80, $1,380. The mining stocks rallied more and they went up higher and they were valued much higher than they are today when gold just recently made a new all-time high. Very important for you to understand that. So rewind this video and listen to what I just said again so you understand that. What that means is nothing's like the price of gold and silver is not even close to being priced in to the mining stocks right now. Not even close. So where the price of gold and silver is right now, the mining stocks are extremely still undervalued to the price of the physical metal, underlying metal itself. Okay? Now imagine what the potential possibly is if gold goes to 5,000 an ounce or 8,000, 10. 10 is not out of the realm of impossibilities. Of course, inflation's running really, really high at that point, and your dollars aren't going to buy you as much, but it's either you're going to lose all your money or you're going to be in physical and mining stocks and you're going to literally receive the wealth transfer to yourself. And then, gold and silver will go into a bubble and we'll scale out of it, take all our profits, and then we'll move on to new technologies and whatnot. I mean, 3D printing, they're making homes and it's cheaper to 3D print homes. Uh, Robotics, I mean, listen, they're gonna build, and it's scary. It's really, Skynet, Terminator stuff. It's coming. It's coming. If you guys are in the newsroom, you guys see all the stuff I post. Yeah, we already have them walking the streets, the little robot dogs. Listen, once they build, and if you go to Boston Dynamics, you could view those videos and get a good idea of where they're at, and they're actually further than that. That's what you just see, but believe me, there's programs out there that are much more advanced, which is scary, which is very scary, and that's why they don't mind defunding the popo, because, like I said, you need to watch that. Just watch Blade Runner and Elysium. That's where they want us heading, and we're probably heading there. Um, but even those movies don't show you the full picture of what could happen and how fast it could happen. I know I'm going off on a tangent here. Just bear with me. So a lot of you guys enjoy it. If you don't, it's fine. Unsubscribe, go away. Once you get a real good robot, it can self-replicate. So all you need is the materials, and then let's say you get a couple good robots, you program them to really build themselves, and then it starts compounding and compounding. You can start off with 10 robots. Within like a month, there'll be 100. Within a year, within 4 months, there'll be like 4,000, and then within like a year, there'll be 400,000, and then within 2 years, there'll be 40 million of them. Of course, that's exaggerated. I'm giving you an example, but that's the power of compounding. So if something can self-replicate, as long as you have infinite resources and materials, the only thing that'll limit it would be materials. And that scares the living shit out of me because, there was this movie. I forgot what it was called. It was about like a rusty ship that was, some of you older guys will know. I mean, this movie was made like in the late 90s or early 2000s, but there was this ship stranded in the middle of the ocean, and it received a signal from outer space, and that signal started creating. It turned the ship electronics against the people on it, and then they started building robots, and they were self-replicating, and then they had to stop the ship from hitting shore, because if the alien robot, whatever signal would get out, it would self-replicate throughout the world. Anyways, if you guys haven't noticed, a lot of these movies do come true. Maybe it's pre-programming. I don't know. I have an idea where they would have the technology. I don't want to get into it. But why was I even talking about this? I don't know. But I'll invest in it, and win in Rome at this point. Things just don't look great for the future. Maybe they will be great. If I could gain all the wealth and power in the world, I would try to make it right. My philosophy is freedom as much as humanly possible for myself and everyone else included, and we're all happy. We're all doing what we love and focusing on what we want to do, and have a life worth living. So let's get back to mining stocks so we could try to do that. Maybe, I don't know, why not? Let's try at least, right? So yeah, so what else do I want to show you that's really important on my strategy and how I'm doing this for the next 3 to 5 years? Because I think that's all it's going to take for gold to go to like the moon and silver. I'm not saying it's going to I'm not saying right now to buy or anything. I'm just saying in the long run. Although there is, we've been following this one stock very closely, and it's been a headache and a nightmare. And but I don't want to say like 100 or 500x or 1000x, but I'm expecting something like that if everything goes right in the next few weeks. And hopefully everything goes good. It's I don't want to give it away, and but for the private members, if it works out and you hang in there, it's really gonna work out. Now I'm not saying it's gonna do like 100 or 500x like in the next like couple weeks. Maybe right off the bat it'll do a 10, 15, 20, or 30, or maybe even 50, but in the long run, it could easily. It's like buying Apple or Google like in the 90s. All right? Or Amazon in like 2002 or something like that, right? That's what I'm hoping. No, can't make promises. Could be completely wrong. Maybe it won't work out because everything's getting thrown at it. And of course, you're going to come up. If something is this valuable, of course, it's going to come up against endless resistance. News articles, everyone bashing it because there's invested interests, because there's massive competitors, and then there's also foreign nations that just want to see the US like implode on itself and crumble and be destroyed. And that's another reason why I've been so vocal lately. And it might, a lot of you guys who are like, I don't know, milk toast fence, like you guys are moderates or you just don't like politics. You guys don't get it. You don't understand what's on the line here. Literally, the country is on the line. Literally. You're going to live through hell the rest of your life if things don't go if things don't work out. That's all I really have to say. There's massive multinationals, from corporations to you name it, that are global. They have no they're not beholden. They don't care about the US, all right? And then they're partnered with other nations. And I'm telling you, next month we're about to find out. I don't care what if you like him or not. He's not. He's for saving the nation. All right. I'm talking. Of course, I'm talking about the orange man with the yellow hair. So, if he really, I know for a fact. All right. I just know. I have sources and stuff. You don't want to see the U.S. fall. It's not going to be pretty for anyone. The only thing standing in between a global, like some sort of like global tyranny with like a ruling class of like corporatists and whatnot is the U.S. and its constitution, and maybe the patriots and the veterans. Like that's the only thing standing in the way, and most of them don't even understand what's at stake here. And I do, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, I guess. And I'm telling you guys, things really have to work out in the next like 3 months or 80 some days, something like that. 4 months, I guess. And even then, it might just be buying time. I don't know. So we need to focus on, of course, spreading truth. And unfortunately, I can't control the market. Yes, I want these mining stocks and metals to go to the moon. Like in the next 6 months, it'd be great because then you could go and buy things you need, and I don't know, move out of the cities, go build a homestead somewhere. I get it. That's what everyone wants. Well, in the private group at least. But I can't control that. But patience will pay off. And by the way, the longer this goes on, where metals don't keep making new all-time highs and the mining stocks stay suppressed valuation-wise and speculation-wise and all that, the bigger the explosion and the quicker it's going to happen when it does. Like, maybe gold's going to stay under its all-time high of 2,100 for the next 6 months, or maybe through 2021. But then in 2022, within like 4 months spread of time, gold just might explode like $2,000, and your mining stocks are gonna all do like 10x and above, like within like a 3-4 month stretch. That's how I feel like it's gonna happen, and it's gonna be when everyone least is paying attention or expects it, and then that's how most people are gonna miss out on the opportunity. That's why you just have to be patient, and you have to dollar cost average up and down, selling and buying, right? But never all out or never all in, if that makes sense. Like, I'm still holding all my individual mining stocks through all of this correction in metals. I don't care. I trade about 20 to 10% cash, although I did raise, let's say, 40% cash. All right. So when it comes to swing trading this stuff, I'll give you guys an example. So late 2015, I'd say about September, I started buying right here, right? It went up. I took profits, not on everything. Then the price fell again. I picked up some more down here, right? Mining stocks and physical. And then I just held for like a while. It was like from 2017 to 2018. This caught my attention, this 1390 when the price went up on gold. But I noticed that the mining stocks didn't rally at all, maybe a little bit here and there. So I didn't buy in, and then I waited for the correction, and I called that. I remember I called that. And then here I was screaming, this is it. You need to load up here. The people who listened to me then, right now are looking pretty. They should be, unless they were over trading and did something stupid. But if you just held until now, you're like massively up. And let me explain how this works. I'm just going to give you guys an example. How not too much money went a long way. So let's say back here in 2015, you had 10 grand to invest. You invested 10 grand, right? And then the price of gold went up. And this is all theoretical example. Went up 32% in 2016. A very big, substantial rally for the price of gold in 1 year and in a short amount of time. It was like 6 months or something. This rally in mining stocks was enormous. It was enormous. If you look back at the charts of the ETFs and the leverage ETFs, they went up like 5, 10x, everything. So your 10 grand, let's say it went up, you did pretty good, and it turned to about 60,000, right? You took off 40%. You locked in 40%. Okay, let's do this math simple, because I'm not smart, guys. All right, your 10,000 turned to 50,000. So let's say you took half off the table. So you left 25%, but you took 25% off. You took 25% profit. Well, your 50 grand, you cut it in half. You took $25,000, right? And you put it into cash. Then the price fell back down, and then you reinvested that, fell back down to like 1,100, and then you started dollar cost averaging back in at around 1,200, and the 25,000 you left on the table fell, right? Let's say it fell 50%. So your portfolio that was in stocks was worth, let's say, like 15,000, but you still had 25,000 on the sidelines. Then you bought back more of the mining stocks. So now you have 40,000. So at the height here, you had 50,000, right? Looks horrible. Let's see if I could do this. You had 50,000, 50K. Down here, because you were smart and you timed this right, like I did. The price fell 50% on gold, and then the mining stocks got wrecked again. But then you bought the dip down here. So, but your entire portfolio, whatever, fell in value, even if you took half off the table and you put it in cash. So here you're only sitting total 40,000. This is how swing trading works. In the long run, the turtle wins, not the hare, by trading in and out. Although because I know how to trade, I trade as well, and sometimes it really magnifies and grows my account substantially, but not always. I take big losses sometimes too. All right, so on this dip, you bought the dip. Your total value of your portfolio is 40,000 right at the bottom of this dip. Now, while the price rose for 2 years, you went back to, let's say, 50,000. Because mining stocks didn't really go up all that much in value. Matter of fact, they're lower. But because you bought the dip so well, your portfolio did go up, right? So you're back up at 50,000. Now this time you took, let's say, less off the table because you're not certain that from here on it's just going to go into a bull market. But you do, as a swing trader, see that you're going to see a decent pullback or correction. So let's say you just take 15,000. You take 15,000. You sell your stocks. You put 15,000 into cash, right? Then again, another 40% drop. So the value of the mining stocks you're holding in your portfolio fell from 45,000 to like 30,000, but you still have cash on the sidelines, 15,000. So now you're back at just 45,000. Well, wait. See, you took 15,000, you put it in cash. You're sitting at 35,000 at the top here. Gold falls again, mining stocks fall again. Your 35,000 falls to 20,000, let's say. The mining stocks valued is at 20,000, but you still had cash on the sidelines, 15,000. So you're really only sitting at 35,000 total value in your portfolio here when you bought the dip again. Because this is I'm trying to give you guys an example of what happened to my portfolio as I did all of this. And my portfolio was at its lowest here. I remember too. It was like the end of 2018. It was sitting lower than it was like of 2000 at the March of 2018. But I was able to accumulate a ton of shares very cheap with that extra cash. Now, I'm not saying this was the size of my portfolio, the cash or anything. I'm not. I'm just giving you guys examples. I'm just making this up, all of this. I'm just giving you guys an example of how swing trading and drawdowns happen in your account. And it kind of like messes with you because you're always looking at the value of your account, but you're not looking at the amount of shares that you're accumulating of mining stocks because of the anticipation of a massive bull market. Okay? So right here, I'm sitting at 35,000, let's say. value of my portfolio. But the value of my portfolio is at $35,000, but I have accumulated more shares of all these mining stocks. So I have more shares here while my portfolio is technically valued at less than I had here and I had here, because I am anticipating this. And during this entire span, this was what? From 2000 and the beginning of, let's say, 2016 to 2019. So in about, this entire thing right here took about 3 to 4 years for me to accumulate as much shares as humanly possible. Okay? So my 35,000, when the bull market finally started in gold, this happened, right? In the past 2 years. Well, from spring 2019 until recently, gold has been going up and the mining shares have been going up, right? Well, this 35,000 did a nice, like, a lot, okay? Let's say it did a 10x. So now it's like 350,000. Okay, so 2 months ago or 3 months ago, whenever it was, I deleveraged. I took profits on my mining stocks and ETFs. Not all of them. I'm holding a lot of individual mining stocks, but I took a lot of profits on the mining ETFs. And I did it before this huge run up right here. And it was funny because while gold was running up, the mining stocks weren't, because the smart money was already getting out, like me. And I took profits on, around here and here and here as it went up. And right now I haven't jumped back in yet. I haven't. I'm waiting. Because I think we're going to get some massive volatility in the markets soon. Okay? And I've given you guys all the reasons in my last 2 to 3 to 4 or 5 videos. So, just so you see a macro picture of how I am doing this and playing this, I'm waiting for a little bit of a deeper correction, right? Something like this maybe. And then here I start scaling in, buying back in, buying back in. And then off she goes. Back up again. Now I took off a lot. I took off, I went into cash. And it was because down here and down here, I went personally, this is what I did personally. I went super heavy into leveraged mining ETFs. The leveraged ones, like the 3x, 2x, and all that. So those leveraged ETF trades or holds that I had, they went up substantially in value. And my account was super leveraged to the gills up here. But I made massive gains, right? So I sold it all, because you have to understand. Let's say you have $10,000. You threw 9,000 into individual mining stocks and non-leveraged ETFs, but you threw 1,000 into leveraged ETFs. The leveraged ETF did like a 10x. So that position of $1,000 outpaced and grew larger. It became a larger share in your portfolio. Do you understand? So the 9,000 that you placed in the individual mining stocks and non-leveraged ETFs, that 9,000, let's say, just doubled. So that became 18,000, right? But that 1,000 that you placed in the leverage ETF did a 10x. So that's worth like 10,000. So that went from 10% of your portfolio to 33% of your portfolio, or a little bit more, like a 35% weighted percentage of your portfolio. So then I went to sell all of that. So technically, I basically took like 30 to 40. I cut my portfolio by like I literally cut it in half, and that's how much I went into cash. So now I have half of, let's say, 350 G's. Example. This is an example. So that's like 175,000, and then I have cash. That's a C. I'll write it out. Cash. 175,000. I know it looks like shit. Cash. The other half is 150,000 is still in the mining stocks. Individual ones. Because some of them haven't really sold off that much and are just kind of holding on to their... And not just that, there's tax reasons, capital gains tax reasons as well, why you don't sell them. You don't sell all of them, right? You just want to hold them long term, over a year, so you don't get hit with that. But this got cut, let's say, in half during this correction that we are currently in. Or let's say more. Let's say more than half. Like 75%, right? So we're looking at like let's just say this fell to 50,000, your portfolio that's in equities, only mining stocks, nothing else. I don't want to get too complicated here. So this is 50,000. And then you have 175 in cash. Well, now you could deploy your 175K and accumulate down here again and start scaling in. And again, total, you scale in with the 175K. So again, you're looking at your entire account fell to 225K. That's significantly, I forgot to write the 5. It's significantly smaller and less than the 350,000 at the peak. But again, you accumulated more shares when you bought this dip. It's all about the shares in a bull market. And then boom, it takes off again, and then all of a sudden your 225K is going to turn into millions. And that's how swing trading over a span of, this would be a span of like, let's say 8 years. That's how you turn 10K into millions. Theoretically. Can't promise this is how it's going to work out or how it could work out. This could be completely wrong. Go talk to your licensed financial advisor about this. All right. But this is how I am doing it personally. Okay. So, moral of the story is you don't want to miss, if you've missed all of this, you don't want to miss this, because if you miss this last buying opportunity, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's not going to be the big wealth transfer. I mean, you'll still probably get it even if you buy up here, but it's not going to be like, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to afford as much shares. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Whoever bought this dip down here, okay, for example, whoever, let me make a different colored arrow so you can see this better. Okay. See this arrow? Let's make it yellow. Well, you guys can see this arrow, right? Whoever bought this dip, and I was screaming at the top of my lungs, like, it did multiple videos. I'm like, guys, buy this dip, buy this dip. when this happened in March of this year for gold, it didn't fall that much. And silver was tanked as well. But the mining stocks, because of the margin calls, I mean, they fell like 75%, all of them. Whoever bought this dip right there and had extra dry powder, cash on the sidelines, took advantage of it. Holy crap. You were buying the stocks at like when they were valued over here. So if you bought in then the mining stocks, it's like you were buying them when they were this priced at this level. Okay? So what I'm hoping for right now that's going to happen soon and continue to happen, a lot of the mining stocks have already sold off by a decent amount, by like 30-40%. When we get that final correction in we get another big correction in equities, we're going to see those margin calls again. I'm hoping this dip, when the mining stocks fall, let's say gold goes to 1750, 1700, maybe even, I don't know, 1600 for a day or two. It'll be very quick. The mining stocks will fall like another 75%. And then that is like the equivalent of buying them back here again. Or like back at March prices. Not quite back at previous March prices of this year, but probably close to it. Maybe 10% higher. And that'll be your last, like, opportunity that's given to you. All right? So I'm giving you guys my strategy and my hypothesis and theory. Will this exactly work out like that? I don't really know. But I'm betting on it. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. And I've given you guys the reasons why. So if you haven't and you have some cash to gamble with and you want to get some exposure to these mining stocks, you want to get ready now, because this could happen quickly in the next few weeks or a month. And then you want to be there to catch that dip buying opportunity. Okay? And then after that, we're just going to sit back, relax. I'll probably close the private group. Not sure when. We'll see how everything works out. And then we're just going to ride this wave to the moon. All right? That is my strategy and plan. Will I be right? I don't know. Hopefully. I've been pretty good in the past 5 years, since I've been, making these videos. So on the macro stuff, I didn't call the crash in March. That was one of my biggest mistakes, because gold just looked so strong during the entire time. Then one Monday, of course, they came in. By the way, the news is out. They've been manipulating the price, the paper markets of gold and silver. So it's not just margin calls. It's like the banks, the institutions they see the margin calls. They create the margin calls. They run all the stops. And that's why you get these huge dumps like we saw in March. Okay? Well, I still think they're going to be able to do something like that one more time. And they're doing it for multiple reasons, but I think the main reason is for themselves. All right? So they could buy the one more great dip buying opportunity for themselves. I can see who buys these mining stocks. I have a program. I can see the insiders. I can see who's buying. They're buying. And they're going to buy more on this dip, along with me in the private group. All right, guys. So this video has gone on longer than I anticipated. I went into some details. I'm going to leave it at this for now. Maybe I'll make another video tomorrow talking about news. You know what? I'm going to do that because I want to see tonight what happens. Who knows what will happen tonight, right? So smash some likes. Go to my website. Share my videos. Only way my channel grows. Go to my other channels. I have 3 channels on YouTube. If you go to the main page of whatever channel you're on, you can see the link in the right corner for the other channel. And then I'm on other platforms. You have to find me. Or you could go to my personal newsroom on Telegram. Links below this video. There's a ton of links below this video. Just go to the newsroom and go in there. And then from there, you can find everything else. and you get to see some of the news I put out, which is sometimes funny, hilarious, ridiculous, and it's just me posting stuff, shit posting. All right, until next time, tomorrow. Bye.